Hey everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things, and today I am spoiling Hostage by Claire Mackintosh. And as you know, I'm not going to tell you the whole book because what's the point in that? Then you're not going to read the book if you're just here to watch my spoiler. Um, I still think you should go read the book. And if you want to see my review instead of me spoiling it, you can click there's going to be a little black bar thing somewhere. I figured out how to do that. So you can go click and it will take you to the review of this instead. And I think at the end, I can put the little review box somewhere. I don't know. I'm learning, okay, guys? I'm learning. Slowly, but I'm learning. Okay, Hostage by Claire Mackintosh. Um, I liked this book. I didn't think I would, like I said, I didn't think I was gonna like this book, but I did. And I was surprised that I did too. I was like, oh, um, I'm not like I said, I'm not into airplane stuff. I I don't mind flying myself. Okay. Flying I think is cool. I like to look out and as you're taking off, I like to look out and see like everything start to shrink. Like, they look like little puzzle pieces where the roads connect. Anyway, does anyone else think that whenever they're flying? Um, but the first time I flew on an airplane, um, I had just seen Final Destination, the first one, the airplane in the beginning, and it blew up. Uh, so I was like freaking out. And so since then, I just don't really deal with airplane stuff. I did watch I think it was called Red Eye. It wasn't I wasn't a big fan of that movie actually. Anyway, but like occasionally I'll throw a movie in that's based on an airplane or, you know, but I just don't love them. Um Give me a good zombie movie anytime. I'll take the trashy ones too. Um anyway, anyway, anyway. I'm just going to keep saying anyway. Um this book, it got me. Okay. So I I don't even know where to start. There were so many twists. Okay. First we find out that Mina and her husband are having problems. Okay? But we are led to believe that he's sleeping around. And then it turns out he wasn't. He let her think that. What? I would have been like, I swear I'm not cheating on you. I'm gambling. I've been gambling our life savings away. Because having your wife think that you're cheating on her, I feel like that's way worse. I was like, what's wrong with this guy? Why would you want your spouse to think that? My goodness. And then I feel like that they probably should have gone to some counseling because they were I mean, their kid had some issues. She was adopted and they didn't know everything that went on with her before and she did have some issues. They knew some of them and I feel like because there is like even when your kid doesn't have issues, there's the okay, like me and my husband. He was gone a lot because he was in the Navy. he was there for a little bit of her life at the beginning, and he would come, he'd be there, and then he'd be gone for a week or 2, and then he'd be back, and then he'd be gone. I was the constant, and so I know that it made him jealous when she wanted me instead of him. There's nothing I can do about that. I'm her safe zone. Well, now that he's not in the Navy and, he's home more, um, she wants him more, and I'm jealous. I'm like, "What what happened? Who am I?" Um, but I understand. I do have these moments when I'm like, my feelings get hurt, and I'm like, "She's 2. She doesn't know what she's doing. She doesn't understand that, and I shouldn't feel that way, but sometimes my emotions are high, so my body starts thinking the worst. But with them, they knew that she was gonna have this problem. They knew that there was probably gonna be time when she didn't want either of them, and she wanted the strangers outside more. So I feel like as a couple, they should have gone to therapy for that. Um, Especially when he stressed out about it a lot. Um, okay. Trying to think of what the next thing to tell y'all about is. Okay, but as a mom, I probably would've I probably would've let the bad guy in. That's my baby. Even if you didn't birth the kid, she's been with you for 5 years, she's your world, you've done everything for her. Like, that's your kid. Um, but then I also understand where, she battled with herself. She was like, "Oh my gosh," like, "but there are kids on the plane." But the one at home is your baby. I get it. Um, I like that we got to hear the little, um, snippets of why the hijackers were doing what they were doing. I also like at the end how, Mina played the hijackers against each other. That was great. Well, you know, I was told that none of y'all knew each other before, but I'm pretty sure that one and that one are seeing each other. That was great. I loved that part. I think that after they had after Mina and her husband found out that, they were at that playground or they were at a playground or whatever, and, or museum, I can't remember what it was. Playground. I think it was a playground. And, the their kids, Sophie's grandma was at the playground too, and, they were worried that she was gonna try to take Sophie. Turns out she was just there with the kid she just had. Yeah, she was a young grandma. Anyway, after that, I think I would have started being a little bit more careful on who I trusted around my kids. And then there was one time when they first found out that Sophie had an allergy to peanuts, and it was because, she had been given food from someone at school. Allergies are no joke, okay? I've seen a kid break out because a bag of peanuts was opened in another room of a building, okay? And it was scary. It was even worse, the kid that opened the peanuts in the other room, like, they were coming to my classroom. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that could have been so bad." Um, and then I've seen a kid that had an allergy to eggs. That was You don't realize how much eggs are in until you have a kid in your classroom or a kid yourself that has an allergy to eggs. Like, I've seen kids with, like, the mild allergies and then the kids with the big allergies. Like, his lips swelled up, his face started swelling up. I panicked, and it was my fault. Um, it was one of those crazy days that their teacher the two-year-old teacher had to leave, so I had an assistant teacher with me so that I could have the one-year-olds and the two-year-olds, and she didn't know what she was doing, so I was doing everything, and I was stressed out, and, I think they were having tuna fish that day, like tuna salad, and I asked I asked the lady, "Does this have mayo?" Because mayo is made with eggs, okay? I asked the person who brought me the food, I was like, Is this made with mayo?" And she said, "No." And I said, "What's it made with?" And she said, "Ranch." And I said, um, okay." And I just turned around and I started scooping food out onto the kids' plates, and I got to the kid who had the egg allergy without even thinking, and I just plopped food down. He was the last kid at the table. I plopped food down, turned around, put the bowl down, reached for the bowl that was supposed to be for him because it didn't have any mayo, and I was like, "Ah!" I screamed at him. I screamed his name, but too late. He had already shoved the whole scoop that I gave him, just all of it into his mouth. I cried. I cried in front of those kids. I panicked. I screamed down the hallway for the manager. She came in. His lips were a little swollen. They called his mom. His mom was like, "Oh, just give him some Benadryl, and I'll be there in." It was like 10 minutes. She worked down the street. I was like, "I'm so sorry," and she was like, "Oh, how do you think I figured out he had allergies? It's okay." I laugh at it now, but it was the worst feeling of my life. So, I take allergies very seriously, um, but their kid has a peanut allergy, and they kept peanut butter in the house? No. And if you keep the peanut butter in the house, it should have a big sign on it that says, "Not for Sophia, danger," or something. Like, it should be in a case or hidden somewhere up higher where only you know about, and that your babysitters and au pairs and housekeepers, I don't know who's gonna be near your kid, knows that that cannot be near your kid. But they put me through the the scene towards the end of the book where Sophie the dad is chained up. Man, this guy he's got it rough. He's chained to this pipe pole thing that's in the wall, and he's supposed to be coming up with money for the loan sharks at midnight. Well, guess what? How is he supposed to go and get the money? And stupid babysitter who's not Becca, even though she told them she was Becca, um, knows that he's supposed to be trying to get money. And then he yells because they're hungry and, Sophie needs food. Okay, I guess Becca has a soft spot for the kid. Okay, that's great. But you threw them down, not threw them, but put them down in a cellar. And it's cold. It's cold outside because it's winter. And you didn't get this kid a blanket. You didn't throw her down her jacket. She's gonna freeze to death. She's gonna get hypothermia. Like, who cares about the dad? Okay, the kid. You've been babysitting this kid for how long? You're gonna tell me you don't have an attachment to her? You don't know the rules? made me so angry. But she threw down a peanut butter sandwich and a cheese sandwich. It's dark, they can't see. How are they supposed to know which one is which? You didn't even tell them that there was a peanut butter sandwich down there. So, naturally, the 5-year-old got the sandwich that had the peanut butter. Then, turns out that you stole her EpiPen that was in the house, or in her backpack, sorry, and snuck it into Mina's stuff so she would know that they were serious when they said that they had your kid. What? This seems a bit serious. You're just asking for something terrible to happen to that kid. I was I was frustrated and irritated and angry all at the same time. And then I was scared because she went into anaphylactic shock, okay? I do like that they made Sophia the, they let her save her dad. I thought that was awesome. I'm just gonna say that, spoiler right there, spoiler, she lives. Um, and, I kind of like what the dad did on how he handled Becca. Because she was like, "No one's gonna know that it was me, and I'll just leave," and he starts spouting off the stuff that he knows about her, like, the real her, like, he's seen her before, outside of being a teenager, because she's not a teenager, and, then she's like and she just leaves, and, like, "Yay," and then it's like, "Oh, well, now we're stuck down here and no one can hear us scream. Um, okay, well, what are we gonna do?" Um, I thought that was pretty cool. Um, I like I don't like it, but I like that we got to see Mina's past and how, the reason she didn't become a pilot. I didn't like what happened to her, but I'm glad that we got to see the breakdown that she had because, like, no one knew. No one knew what happened except for her and the pilot that was with her, and I'm glad that he wasn't a pilot anymore. Um, Also, I wish there was I kinda wish there was more to this book because, the how it ended, this little 9-year-old she was 5 in the beginning, but 3 years after all the trials and stuff, this little 9-year-old's gonna poison the one who was in that was one of the twists. I was like, "Rowan? Rowan? Rowan is the one?" I did get a weird vibe from him, when not when we first meet him, but whenever he first, like, starts getting more involved with the little group. Um, I got a weird vibe, but I was like, maybe he's just a weird person. And then, we find out that when both Mina and Alex I think that's her I gotta go look up her husband's name. It's bothering me. Whenever them 2 are, like, in court, Rowan or one of the other survivors of, you know, the little group, um, they would watch Sophie. Um, so when she was with Rowan, he was starting to, like, feed her, like, he was starting to train her early. Whenever I found out that it was him, I was like, "Oh, what? What?" And I like that it goes into her point of view at one point, and she's like, everyone thinks that stuff goes over my head because I'm a kid, but I know a lot." And when Rowan told me everything and then he told me, "Sorry, you weren't, sorry you were locked in the basement." or the cellar, whatever they call it. Um, and that you had an allergic reaction. That wasn't supposed to happen. She was supposed to just keep y'all at home. She wasn't supposed to hurt y'all. Like, she wasn't supposed to hurt us, but you told my mom that you would kill me if she didn't go along with it, and, the she you can I like that we see her put it all together, and then the very end, she's gonna go give him these muffins that are made with poisonous flowers because she's 9, and they can't arrest her for that if it was an accident. I was like, "Man, I wish there was more. I wish we could see all of that." That little just a little bit more, just so I can see what happens, because it'd be like sweet victory, and then if she does get in trouble, what kind of trouble is she gonna get into? Like, are they just gonna send her to therapy? She really could just claim ignorance and be like, "Oh, I thought that it was, this flower instead of that one. I didn't they look so much alike, I didn't know." I mean, adults do that. We make mistakes all the time. Maybe not deadly ones, but what? Um, Whenever I found out that little bit there, I was like, "Oh my gosh. Rowan? He's trying to train Sophie early?" Okay, I liked this book. I didn't think I would. I didn't think I would, and then I got into it. Like, the first few like, I guess, like, the first chapter or 2, I was like, "Mm," but I kept going, and I liked it. So, I recommend it, and that is my spoiler video for this Hostage Claire by Claire Mackintosh. Um, alright. Like, comment, and subscribe. I will leave links for the book below in case you watched this spoiler before you get the book. I don't recommend you do that. It's kind of like getting a book and then reading the end first. I know people do that. That just bothers me. It's like getting a book and dog earing the page. Don't don't fold the pages. Um, just my opinion. All right. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go finish my coffee, and I don't know what else I'm gonna do. So I'll figure that out. Probably do some editing. Gonna edit. This video is actually gonna be coming out like next month, so I'm gonna edit this month's stuff. Um, because I finished this book and I wanted to. As I finish the books, I want to just blah, so I don't forget anything, and or get books mixed together. Because whenever I only read something once, I tend to forget things real fast, or, if I'm reading 2 books that I've never read before at the same time, sometimes they go but only if they're really similar, and I just started another book, what's the book called? Blue is Night. No, Blue is for Nightmares. Blue is for Nightmares. Um, by Laurie Stolarz? Stolarz. Stolarz? I'm not sure how to say it. Um, I'm only on the first chapter, so that's all I've had time to read. Okay, so I'll leave a link for the Hostage book, and I will leave a link for the Blue is for Nightmares. I don't think I need to leave link for anything else. So I'll see you on my next video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so I know that you liked this video. And you can tell me what your favorite part of the book was. I want to know. I really do want to know what your favorite part of this book was. So please tell me. I will see you on my next video. Bye.